We return to the sand sea. Now, realistically, I should be going to bed now. It is frightfully late in the evening. But come on, I mean, it's right near the end of summer. I've got to enjoy the sun while it's out while I can. And we're on a roll here. So we are at the sand sea. We're about to hunt down the rogue tomato. Now, it occurs to me that last part I never really went to the board and showed you guys. So basically, various inns and pubs as we go on our grand adventure, we'll find these boards sometimes. You can interact with them. And you might find that people have put up these posts for things to hunt. Once you've found a post and accepted it, you need to speak to the actual petitioner. So in this case, it was Tamaj, who we'd originally spoken to right here. But later, you'll have to like find someone in the world, and then they'll tell you about the hunt, where the hunt is, and you go do it. Basically, each hunt is like a side quest. That's realistically the situation. And if you're playing FF12 and not doing these hunts, you're kind of missing out on a good chunk of the content in the game. So I'll be showing you guys. Anyway, yeah, he can remind us about the licenses and the marks and the stuff like that, which we don't have to worry about. The Imperials are locking down the gates, blah, blah, blah. Also, on the job menu, I probably should have mentioned, but you see how we've got 12 things here? Well, there's kind of like this thing about the Zodiac. So it's like each one is kind of a part of the Zodiac calendar, you know, like Gemini and Pisces and Libra and all that kind of stuff. To be honest, I don't even really know how they're ordered. But this game is... and this, like, the Evilist Alliance in general is really, really obsessed with the signs of the Zodiac. I think it's because in the tactics games, initially, that was like a big gameplay mechanic. Like, you do more or less damage based on how your Zodiac lined up with other people's and stuff. Anyway, it is a recurring thing. The version of the game we're playing right now is called the Zodiac Age, after all. And the other one was the International Zodiac Job System. They were the jobs of the Zodiac and so on. I really like these graphics, though, and I'm not actually sure what I've got the Thief class here lined up with. This is a custom class, by the way. In fact, the 6 classes that we'll be using as we go forwards here off on the left, these are all custom, specific for specific characters to provide a better game balance. The Bushi that I showed you before, that is vanilla, though. That's one of Square Enix's ones. Anyway, they all use the same skills and stuff. It's the same game, it's just how stuff is structured. Anyway, we got the Sotted Imperial here. More lovely language. Sotted. Who gave you your leave to come up here, boy? This balcony's reserved for the Imperial Watch, you hear? And this lady laments that fact. I'm sorry, but the balcony is reserved for members of the Imperial Watch. Or so they've decided, at least. They're nothing more than 2-bit sellswords, if you ask me. If you keep coming back here as the story develops, you can kind of, like, see how this updates, which is kind of funny. But yeah, and that balcony up there always makes me think of... The end slate for my videos is from a game called Little Big Adventure 2. And right at that start of the game, right at the start of that game, you can go to a pub. And there's an upstairs area where people are hanging out. That place always makes me think of that. Anyway, the barman, the tavern master. How are you, Varn? That creature in the desert has us chasing supplies from dawn till dusk. Someone better do something, and quick. Well, let's go do that. Head on out. Oh, by the way, look, it's a Moogle. I have to say, I'm not usually one for, like, the cutesy races and all that kind of stuff in games. But I love the 12 Moogles. I think they're incredible. And in fact, just the cities themselves and all the different NPCs, like this girl passed out, and they're all animated and they're all moving. Moogles, especially because they can fly, you find them in so many weird places. I think 12 does brilliantly. I think 12 does really kind of poorly with some things, and like insanely well with others. I've actually never seen in a game such well-realized, immersive, like, interesting places. Like, look at this. Everywhere you stop, you can pause and see that there's a little Moogle sitting on that chair there, rocking back and forth. That guy's dancing. All over the place, in so many locations. Yes, it does feel like there's places where this game was, like, crunched and they kind of had to push out the doors. But in other places, that is so not true at all. They've done so much, and there's so much detail. Cities are one of them. Anyway, yeah, he's still interrogating those people. And there's... Wait, a vexed father. Is he upset that no one's letting him downstairs? Oh, no. We spoke to him already. And yes, he is upset that he can't go downstairs, but I thought he was, like, separated from his daughter or something there for a moment. So we can actually return to Magello again now. And, oh, I guess since I'm here, I'll do it. I guess. I wasn't going to do this, but I can't help myself. And because we kind of did his job. We told Kite to come back here, and you'll see that Penello's here now. She says, did you finish the chores Magello sent you to do already? And he says to us, oh, Kite is back. He's been on tenterhooks ever since he walked in the door. Well, so long as he's not up to any mischief. And it's weird because the game's kind of stalled a little bit here. Maybe Magello could have told us to do something else, but we're just free roam to go do our own thing. And it all starts with a rogue tomato, I suppose. There's actually a few fun moments in the story where it's like, what drives Vaan forward? What makes Vaan continue to want to go or to do things? And sometimes you're just completely free to explore and just have fun. So here we are. We are now at the Southern Plaza. This guy's pretty important to speak to if you want 100% in the game, which is not really a big deal, and there's no like proper metric covering 100%. It's just people are a bit insane about Final Fantasy games, and so this is one of the things you can do. The desert merchant says, I made it in from the XII just before they closed the gates, but my friend was stopped before he could get through. Could you take something to him? So now, if you remember, we have a permit to get through that gate, so we can say, sure, no problem. He says, excellent. You should find him just outside the east gate. He's a banger like myself. So the banger are the lizard guys, and those fat pig-looking men, they're Sikh. And don't go selling that to pocket the gil yourself, you hear? So, we obtain a small package. Now, if we go to the inventory, you'll see this does appear in the loot section. A package received from a banger merchant who wants it delivered to an associate at the east gate. This is the only one of these you will ever get in the whole game. And people consider like 100% run for 12 to be to hold on to this. But you can sell it for like 150 gil or something. And it's actually worthwhile doing so. And I'll show you why in a moment. Also, by the way, key items. The Clan Primer, a reference containing exploits, hunt log, bestiary, blah, 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 adventuring tips. And the writ of transit given to us by Tamaj, granting its bearer the right of passage through the east gate for the acquisition of foodstuffs. Cool, you can tell I'm getting a bit tired here. So the primer is down here. It's an option for our menu now. It chronicles our exploits. And we can read descriptions. 4 big sections. First is this, the Sky Pirate's Den. As you travel Evilis, the Sky Pirate's Den will slowly fill with tokens commemorating various milestones and feats of skill. Discovering how to unlock them is up to you. So, we kind of get kicked out here because we don't have any milestones, but you see it's basically a graphic of a room. Well, when we do special things in the game, like little sprites will appear in there, animated sprites. It's essentially an achievement system, guys. Now, I know that sounds boring, but listen. This predates achievements being formalized as a function of games with the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. There's a really cool era of gaming, in my opinion, that particularly was going on during the PlayStation 2 days, where games created their own mini achievement systems. And so Final Fantasy XII did this. That's what the Sky Pirate's Den is. Nowadays, usually when you get a trophy, you also get a bit of the den. And here's a weird thing that I actually have a lot of respect to Square for doing. When the Zodiac Age came out, this feature, the Sky Pirate's Den, as silly as it is, this was cut. They have Steam achievements now, and they have trophies and whatnot now. So this was cut. It's not really needed. But the graphics and the UI and stuff, the fans really liked. And they kind of kicked up a fuss about it. And Square actually, they didn't have to do this, but they went back and patched this edition of the game to add the Sky Pirate's Den back in for the HD re-release. So there's actually a whole patch just dedicated to adding this back. And it wasn't from modders. It was from, I mean, maybe modders did it as well. I mean, those guys are so talented. But it was, it's an official part of the game again now. So anyway, I'm really happy to see that as someone who wants all the features there. What else we got? Well, Traveler's Tips. Now, there's a ton of articles here. These give you, like, loads of information about, you know, sometimes things we've already heard, like getting MP back, save crystals, moving around, using items, ethers. I'll tell you guys all of this. Some of them are really particular, though. Like this one here, Arm Thyself. There are many weapon types, each requiring a license, and the different weapons do different things. They all have different hit formulas. It's actually nuts how crazy in-depth all the weapon details are in this game, especially considering you don't need to know any of these intricate details to beat the game, or even to beat the game's super bosses, you don't need to know this stuff. But they'll tell you like what guns do, and how swords are different from one another, and what the fast weapons are that scale on your speed instead of strength, and all these things. You guys can pause the video if you like. I will go into those details as we need them. Anyway, so yeah, that's that. And to tell you the truth, I always like doing this. Basically, just go into the menus at least once to get rid of the exclamation mark. I don't know how many people are... I'm usually not that OCD about this stuff, but I do plan on coming to the Clan Primer quite regularly. And right now, we've only got a couple of articles here. More unlock as we find out new things. So then you got hunts. And so this will track all the hunts we've got going on. We can press square at any time, and it will show us where the creature is. If we've been to that area of the world. So right now, we've never been to this area of the world. We have no idea where this is. It just says at the top, the Esther Sand. There's a tomato in the Esther Sand. That's all we really know. And he's the only hunt. He's hunt number 1. And then finally, a bestiary. So the only thing we have in the bestiary right now is rats. And it says, being a manner of vile and verminous beastie, much favouring the fetid stench of the sewers and making their nest therein. Past attempts at eradication to contain the plagues these pests, unknown to carry, have greatly reduced their numbers, yet a preternatural rate of reproduction has kept the strain from extinction. And so they remain, an ever-popular subject for natural philosophers keen to fathom the secrets of their indomitable constitution. Wow, isn't that wordy? So, one of the game updates, this used to just be like some concept art on the left. Now you actually get their whole model and they're animated and stuff, which is really nice. So, here's the thing. I love this game's bestiary. I actually think this is one of the best bestiaries in a game I have ever played. I'm not joking. There are so many enemies and so many enemy varieties, and they all have amazing, intriguing lore. I want that stuff in the video. I'm just not sure how right now. I think we'll probably have the end of the videos reading the bestiary for people who want that information. But for now, we'll just have a quick once over. Also, by the way, can you see it says need 02? What that means is if we kill another 2 rats, even more information will unlock a separate page. But the new information that unlocks actually has nothing to do with rats. It's just weird extra lore and world building that they dumped in there. What kind of information does that include? Well, do you remember in the first part where I told you why Nebradia got attacked? Yeah, that's from some obscure bestiary extra page from a random enemy. I'm not joking. And in fact, a lot of the really amazing information in 12 is delivered to you in exactly that way. It's insane. Don't worry, I'll compile it all and give it to you guys all in the right way. So yeah, that's the clan primer. I'm really sorry to have spent so long dealing with all of that. Now, the fountain, oh so lovely, as you can see. We get 3 gates. That's the west gate, which is closed right now. Here's the south gate, which is also closed. If you run all the way over, you can try to go through. The Imperials will stop you. He says, south gate's closed, my boy. Move along. He didn't say my boy, did he? He just said boy. His Excellency, the Consul, is worried the heightened watch will make the small folk uneasy. But be thankful he's such a considerate man. So we don't really know anything about the Consul right now. He might be nice, but just being a part of the Empire kind of gets my back up a little bit, to be honest. There is nothing redeemable, it seems, about the Empire so far.
You there, let's see some papers, boy. No public passage on account of the Lord Consul's parade.
Oh, gee, that's too bad. You see, it just so happens that your provisioner for the fete tonight, he sent me to pick up a few choice morsels for the, Consul's dining pleasure. He wants them quick. I got the writ of transit right here. You see? Signed, Magello. I just hate to see the Consul upset because his food wasn't ready on time. And I sure hate to see him take it out on you.
The Lord Consul is a great man, and not one to take offence in such trifling matters.
Let us through. Come on.
Move along, boy. Wouldn't do to keep the Consul waiting.
That's it.
Right. Gates are closed after this.
I like it. See, Van's competent. He can get things done. He's very streetwise. I think that's fair to see it immediately. And so we get through. So there is the exit to the city, which is pretty nice. Now, first thing you want to take note of is this guy, this hapless merchant. My companion and I arrived together, but they've singled out my goods for inspection. I've been held up here all day. You came from the city, yes? Did a Banga merchant happen to give you an item to deliver? So, I'm going to say, yeah, here it is. I'm going to give him the item. He says, well, what do you know? Thanks, boy. Or my thanks, boy. Help me out. A tight spot you have. Well, headed into the desert, are you? Best watch yourself out there. Get into any fights. Just be sure to keep well healed. You hear me? Mind your wounds or the next blow could be your last. Had myself caught by a tail a time or two out there, let me tell you. And that's it. So you'll notice we didn't get anything for giving him the item. Nothing. There's no like quest that's finished in a log or anything. That it's just done. So the best way to play the game, especially if you're playing like a harder setup, you probably should just sell it. Take the gil and spend that on something more important. But there, I thought I'd show you guys what happens when you give it to him. You be a good Samaritan. Now, and I have to show you this. This is how nuts this game is, right? there's this lady here, and she says, the inspection line's grown a good deal short and hardly anyone's leaving the city now. Imagine these people will be the last ones for you. I suppose I should be heading in myself. Wouldn't do to be shut out here, would it? So you got 2 lines, right? We can't just go back. They won't let us. So you might think, well, if you missed the package from the guy at the fountain, then you're screwed for good. Not true. You actually can go back if you really want. I don't know why that would be. There's like very little to do in the city right now, except just speak to NPCs. But this is how nuts this game is. If you speak to this dude, he says, your eye's not working, boy. You want to pass? You queue with everyone else. Any arguments, speak to the guard at the back of the queue. So we can speak to this guy, and he says he's in the queue. They're inspecting everyone. What we can do is talk to this guy, get his dialogue. Not many more people come along now. Once we get this lot taken care of, that should just about do it, I'd say. What about you? You looking to get inside? You could say, yeah, let me in the line. And he lets you in the line. And now this guy's dialogue will update. Okay, if you watch, the line will actually physically move. Right? And now that we've moved this position up, you speak to him. His dialogue updated again. How much longer is this going to take? If there's one thing about the Empire I can't stand, it's this. Just being a good citizen trying to make an honest living isn't good enough for them. Now you have to do it by their rules. I like the idea that these guys are like the British and there's this whole queuing thing here. Which was very, very clever of the localization team, if that's what they were playing with. And he gives us more information. The Dalmascans ruled for hundreds of years, but those days are gone forever, aren't they? Years from now, the Empire's invasion will be just another of history's footnotes. It helps to keep things in perspective. Yeah, so just by the way, the Dalmascans here at the Galtean Peninsula, we are a very old nation. The Arcadians, they've sprung up more recently. Anyway, and now he says, finally my turn. They wouldn't turn me away after making me wait. He asks, and he does get turned away, and he gets annoyed. And then when we're in the front, he says, okay, the watch inside notified me. Foodstuffs the banquet, was it? Well, do you need to pass? We can open the gate. He says, I don't see any foodstuffs. Still have work to do, eh? Well, go on your business. And now we get let in. Now, I have to tell you guys, like, no players who play Final Fantasy XII will do this. There's no reason to. Yet they implemented all this stuff. He says, you again? So this guy's dialogue's updated? And by the way, you know how there's 2 lines? Yet both work. So if you want, you can now stand in this line and do it all again, and you can get repeated dialogue with this guy, and they all get turned away. I'm not going to waste all your time with that, but I had to show you guys. That is the level to which this game keeps updating NPC dialogue. That is how much there is to get at. And then, by the way, once all the lines are done, this lady's dialogue updates, and everyone kind of stands around. It's nuts. I don't know why they put so much effort into that. It's really crazy. If the story really is that this game ended up having to get raced out because they'd wasted too much time or whatever, I bet it wasn't stuff like this. I mean, that's such a sweeping, stupid generalization to make as an outsider, but still. I had no idea they'd close the gates. Well, no worries. Let's go on out. I know you guys want to see some fighting, and so do I. So another weird thing, by the way, everything we have played in the game so far can be played while you're downloading it. So here we go. This is the Esther stand. You see a little bit of some of the enemies. Yeah, if you buy this on Steam, while it's downloading, all of this is available. Oh, wow, we never hit the save crystal. We're still low from fighting those rats earlier. Well, I'm not going to waste a potion on that. I'm just going to quickly go back. There was a crystal here, wasn't there? Yeah, all the way over here. Should have done that. Yeah, while you're downloading, you can actually play this. I mean, the game is pretty big, but not that big. So, to tell you the truth, and we don't have to save because of all the autosaves. I can't imagine a player, but maybe if you have really, really bad internet, you can do all of this. And in fact, you can do everything until Varn returns in a moment after we've done the hunt, which is kind of fun to think about. Right, so we're now healed. And, well, what have we got? First of all, Cactites. For most Final Fantasy games, you've got Cactars and Quacktars. I love those. They're like Tonberries. They're really cool. In this game, they got substituted for these weird things, which I think is a bit of a shame, but hey. They're nice. They're pretty cute. And a lot of them are just sitting around sleeping. Sleep is a funny mechanic in that if you hit someone asleep with a physical attack, it will wake them up and they'll start fighting again. But also, that hit that wakes them up does extra damage. So you see how Varn's doing about 40 here? That first hit we did 60 because we hit someone who was asleep. So you can kind of utilize sleep in 2 different ways. One, just keep people asleep and try and cast magic on them, which won't wake them up. Or you can use sleep to prep like some kind of big hit. When I start using sleep, I'll probably just, you know, send things to sleep and try and use magic to keep things asleep. So we get a wolf. And again, we don't quite know how weak he is, how strong he is. But sometimes you'll see their HP critical and you know you're okay. Also, we're at the start of the game, so we know we're pretty much okay. The other thing we can do, and let's go to active on this now. The other thing we can do is steal from the stuff that we find. We'll be manually doing that for now here. It's just a bit unrewarding when you miss, and obviously that gives them more time to hit you. So if you're stealing to sell to buy potions, but then you have to potion more in the first place, you know, it might not be a good idea. Here, the wolf actually managed to combo us twice, so we're a little bit low. There you go, down he goes, and we've got a wolf pelt from him. And if I ever want to save, I can just go back up to that exit. Now, there's the rogue tomato right there on that little plateau with a little bit of vegetation. You can see way off in the distance there's a fortress. That is the Naubana fortress, believe it or not. And in fact, the world map option, you can see we got Rabanastre here, and we've already traveled quite far away from Rabanastre, all the way over here at what's called the Ester Sand. You get this nice image of it, and if we press X, you'll actually see that we're on this map now. And the mark should be somewhere here. They don't really make it an interesting experience trying to find the mark, but they have it. You got Rabanastre. We know of 2 places. There's Lowtown, but we haven't been able to go there yet. I guess Varn knows about that because he's from Lowtown. The waterway, the Garamslife waterway. But all the way up here, look, that's Naubana, way up there. And we know about this because we saw it on Rex before, obviously. And there you can see. But we can't go there right now. It's very far away. You can just about see it off in the distance, which is pretty cool. And I don't know how easy that was to see in the PS2 editions, but it will have been there. Just kind of way off in the distance. So yeah, I'm not going to waste around stealing. What I am going to do is clear some wolves out, though, before we fight the enemy. Because if we try to fight the rogue tomato and these wolves decide they want to take a pop, we'll kind of be screwed. So there you go, we're going to level up. Now, in this game, leveling up gives you more stats. It doesn't mean that you now boost attributes or whatever. Everything's done through the job menu. So leveling is just cool, you leveled. A weird thing to know is that there is randomization on the stats when you level. It's a bit like some of those classic RPGs. Like you saw I was playing Elder Scrolls Arena earlier. And in that series, if you guys watched, you'll know that like there's a lot of randomness and dice rolling going on. Well, that's true here too. When we level up, we roll a dice on how much health we get and how much of various stats go up. Which means if you want to do a perfect game, and I'm not joking, I've seen streams and stuff of people doing this, every time they level, they like reload until they get a perfect roll. And there's like that variance there. Again, the point is with this game and all the original design, you weren't meant to have 100% control over everything. There was meant to be a bit of randomness, a bit of chance. Things might go one way or another in the chests, in the level up system, and everything. What is your fate, you know? Varn got a bit stronger. That's cool. We got 150 health now. That's all that really matters to me. Leveling up will help us in this little fight in a second here as well. And then finally, I'm just going to clear these wolves out. Now, we have to be careful because there is a dinosaur. There he is on this map. And he's big and he's scary. In vanilla, he's not actually quite that big. But, you know, big dinosaurs are badass. Now, here's the thing with 12. It does not care about killing you if you step out of bounds. You will be out in the wild. Sometimes things will kill you. You do not want to antagonize dangerous stuff. Sometimes you have to flee. Seriously. So if you look here, this guy's name is in red. Do not test him. Now, in truth, I think he's non-hostile. He's passive. But if you watch him long enough, and I know some of you guys want me to potion, I'm going to wait for this wolf here, and then I'll do it after that, because that's going to be more efficient. If you watch this guy long enough, you will see he runs around and he eats stuff on the map. So he hunts wolves and he kills them. And then when he does, he gets stronger. He actually levels up from eating stuff. But I'm not going to mess about with him too much. In fact, that wolf's ran away now, so I think we'll be safe from him. So yeah, we can run on back up and actually take out the tomato itself. Shouldn't be a big deal. Now, any really dangerous or interesting enemy is usually worthwhile stealing from. The rogue tomato, we don't know much about right now. We will find ways to get Libra back very soon, by the way. Don't you guys worry. So anyway, we'll swing at him, and look at this. Look at his teeth come out every time he attacks you. I love this guy. He's so cool. He's such a unique, weird little enemy. We're just going to need to make sure that we don't get too hurt. Now, let's try and steal from him. So there he's using an ability called Ram, which I think will do a little bit of extra knockback sometimes. Enemies can push you around and stuff. And, yeah, I think we got, what was that, a Firestone or something? Let's have a quick look in our inventory for loot. Yeah, we get a Firestone. A stone infused with the power of fire. It looks like an ordinary stone, but is faintly warm to the touch. I love all the little, like, world-building story and setting details in this game. It's like how all the NPCs have all this dialogue and you can really interact and get immersed in them. There's so much loot in this game, and all of it has fun and weird, flavorful interactions and stuff. It's nuts. There's so much information you can get. Really, really crazy. So yeah, this guy has two phases. First, he fights you up here. Then he runs down. All you really got to do is attack him. Now, he's a little scarier in this next phase. We stole a Firestone from him. Well, he unlocks a new ability here now called Fire. And he can do a lot of damage. In fact, if he casts his fire on me, he'll probably kill me at this health. So I recommend, if you guys play like this, get a potion up first. And then we'll run in. And this is exactly what I didn't want. I didn't want to fight him with the wolf. So let's see if he comes. And I especially don't want to fight him near the friggin' Saurian. Oh, God. There you go. Look, look. You see he's using Cannibalize? Did he do it? I think he just ate the wolf. Oh, God. Okay, there you go. That was Flame Breath from the Rogue Tomato. Van actually blocked it. Let's see if we can... I don't want to fight so close to the T-Rex. Please go away. That thing usually wanders around a lot more. This is a big map. All right, good. He's dead. And that's it. That's a hunt, basically. You know, a very, very simple hunt. All we need to do now is return to the petitioner, in this case, Tamaj, for our reward.
Galbana lilies? Never thought I'd see him growing out here. Ugh. This'll make a nice souvenir. Time to call it a day.
So why are Galbana lilies interesting? You only have them for a very brief time, to be honest, so I kind of want to look at them here. Red flowers that grow only in Dalmasca. You found them after defeating the Rogue Tomato. Well, I'm sure we'll figure out in a moment. Now, I'm going to just sort of sidestep this guy a bit. We could return straight back to the city if we like, or we can kind of explore this area of the desert. And sorry, I've been drinking coffee, so I've got to make sure I keep it down. We can explore it and look for chests. And also, over here is a little outpost. This place is quite nice. And worthwhile coming right at the start of the game. So that place we're at was called the Stepping, and we're now at the outpost. This is a cool place right at the beginning of the game. First of all, there's some chests here with gil. Also, you see this like little glint on the floor? There's like random money here. 1 gil. Now, 1 gil is basically no money at all. 21 gil is a lot better. The only time that getting little bits of gil from the ground here is ever going to feel rewarding is if you come here right away. And so that's what we're doing. Now, if you try to go further out, you'll see it's blocked off. When these Imperials are here saying no one's allowed through lest they're on official business, lesswise not until the Lord Consul's appointment ceremony is complete. So, for now, we can't travel through. This guy's pretty upset. I hired a Chocobo, but for what? They got the whole blasted desert blocked off. So yeah, there was a Chocobo Pen. You can mount Chocobos and rent them and all kinds of fun things in this game. I don't think the pen is running while they're setting up for the console, though, so that guy's kind of screwed up. Now, this chest's a pretty good one. Sometimes you find chests that do always spawn, 100% chance chests, and once you've got them once, they go away forever. They never respawn. Those kinds of chests usually have really important stuff like special gear or even spells. Spells never really used to exist in chests until IZJS, and now in all the newer editions of the game, that's what happens. So you want to watch out for that. Here we can get a Firefly. So this is a second accessory. We can't equip it because we never bought the license for this one. But here you'll see it gives us different stuff. This actually gives us loads of MP and has a new special ability down at the bottom. It says nullifies weather and terrain effects on elemental damage. So one of the weirdest systems in this game, and your eyes are going to start to open now as to just how in-depth this game was for its combat system. One of the weirdest things is, let's see. Maybe I don't actually have it unlocked right now. I don't think it's in Arm Thyself. I don't think we have it. Maybe a more comfortable journey? No, this just teaches us about speed mode and stuff. Well, listen, guys, there's dynamic weather in this game. Sometimes there'll be a sandstorm here in the desert, for example. Maybe later we're in a beautiful, lush forest, and sometimes it will be misty in there, and sometimes it won't be. Sometimes a blizzard might descend on a mountain and might not. And that changes enemies and all kinds of stuff. It also changes spells and the way that projectiles work. Like, if you're using a bow in strong winds, it might be less accurate, but more damage and stuff. It's nuts, really. All of those details don't really matter because they get crowded out by other stuff. But it is there, and a weird little thing that teaches you about it is, like, your first optional accessory in the whole game is this Firefly, which if you give it to, like, a black mage or something, a caster, then they can just ignore how the weather affects their abilities. Just to be clear, I think the original idea of this item was this was the 0 XP item. Before full-on weak mode and stuff, this would have been one of the ways to do your challenge run. But they only give you one here, and the other Fireflies were, like, way later in the game, so it was kind of annoying and meant that you could only use one party member and stuff. And for the, really, I'm not going to be using this much. It's best for the MP boost, to tell you the truth. We might use it for the MP boost later. Van doesn't really have much LP to unlock it right now anyway. He's got more important stuff he could do instead, so we won't worry. This guy's pretty cool, Dantro. Hey there, name's Dantro. I'm on watch here. You come hoping to go to Narbonne? Sorry to tell you, but the road's not open. Hey, don't blame me. You're not the only one put out either. I've been waiting forever for my replacement to come. So he's talking about a replacement? Well, that'll kind of expand later. Little kid with a dog. A boy and his dog? Question mark. You stuck here too? I came from the village up ahead and now I can't get back. Him? Oh, don't worry about him. He won't bite or nothing. He's practically family. Cute, huh? He is cute. The ones that were outside were biting us though. This kid will rip you off. Look at this. Energetic child. Pretty hot, huh? 100 gil if you want to rest. No thanks. We only have 180. If you want to help from the sun, come on in. No way, kiddo. But you will notice there is no save crystal here. So if you want to heal, you got to pay. I think we'll be okay. And again, this is where the new auto system kind of starts to remove a bit of tension. Because even if we did die, well, so what? We're just going to be right there at that line. Anyway, so yeah, I'm not going to fight these guys. I'm going to move on. Also, by the way, I keep using the term LP. Please don't attack me. I'm pretty sure he's passive. There's rare stuff you can steal from him, by the way. In fact, I got to do it. I got to substantiate what I'm talking about. Ready? I'm going to try to steal from the Saurian. All right, here we go. So we stole a high potion, which is an easy drop. He now is mad at us, and he one-shot us. He didn't even use a skill. And that's it. It is unforgiving, all right? I have to show you guys a couple of game overs because otherwise you're not gonna, like, get what I mean, all right? This game will kill you if you step out of line, okay? And that's what they're doing right at the start. They're teaching you, look, if something looks dangerous, maybe stay the hell away from it, right? So we won't steal from it. If you are very cunning, you can kind of steal from it right at the exit to the area and then leave quickly and then run back and try again. You can actually steal like some cool armor from him, I think. But and like way later in the game he becomes an even bigger, stronger one. There's so much stuff, guys. But we're not going to be dealing with that. We'll leave him alone, all right? Oh, looks like someone wants a pop. So sometimes Van will see before me. Just because I don't have target lines on and I don't have a mini-map on. But I like it this way. I think it's better. I really do. So anyway, we'll finish him off. Yeah, LP stands for license points. Here you can see he's weak. And we know that the next hit will probably kill him. Yeah, license points. And seeing when they're weak is going to become very important for bosses. And I just wanted to make that clear. Because I might not have before. In fact, how many have we got? 13. So if we kill 2 more wolves, we'll go up to 15 and we can buy a shield. License. Now remember, that's not actually buying a shield. That is learning or unlocking the ability to use one. The devs said that the whole idea of licenses being needed for everything is supposed to like remind you of like the way that the Empire works, how Arcades operates, being very regimented in their society and stuff. These ones only cost 10 though. We could start with time magic or with black magic. Let's go with time first. I think that one makes more sense. So that's 2 spells that we've learned how to use. We don't own either of them yet, but all in due time we will. Right, so back to Rabanastre. Things are largely the same. Here you go. This is the Chocobo Pen. See, look at those Chocobos all the way back there. Now imagine playing this game at like 480p, all right, on a PlayStation 2. Potentially not even on like an LCD monitor or something, right? We weren't even necessarily all on flat screens at that point with our old SCART cables. You're not really going to get those details too well, but they are there. Look at that. It's really cool how much detail there is in the backgrounds and stuff. Anyway, yeah, I think that you can't hire a Chocobo for now. You can grab the save crystal, and yeah, all of this, all the stuff in the intro and the Nalbina Fortress and everything, all of that was playable while you're downloading the game. This is where that sort of section ends. Ugh, they wouldn't let me through. Nothing to do now but wait till the ceremony. Are we too late? Well, hold on. Here's Kites. Hey, Kites. Oh, Van, I guess I'm not the only one who got locked out. I told Penello about the mark you were going after, and I guess I got her worrying. So the 2 of us headed out here to find you. As soon as I stepped out, the guards closed the gates and things got crazy. I haven't been able to find her since.
Stand back there. Back! This gate's closed until the ceremony's over, do you hear?
Now what?
Look at these awesome Chocobo.
Open the gate! Alright, out the way.
Wait a second. How come you let these Chocobos through the gate and not us?
What of it? This here's a pedigreed parader, boy. Cost tens of thousands of gil, this one did. A prettier price than 100 of you provincials would fetch. Keep your distance. We don't want the Chocobo sticking a peasant.
What'd you say?
Step aside. Right then, move them in.
Oh,
Well, rest in peace to those lilies.
that does it.
Oh, a fine Chocobo you have there. Yes, cedar down stock if I'm not mistaken. Change the soil, change the Chocobo, am I right?
We'll go to the Cedar Downs way later.
Yes, different soil means different bouquet, too. Take a Dalmascan Barreau's wine, eh? It may lack the flavor and depth of some of your Arcadian wines, but it has a certain strength of character. It's not bad, really, once you get used to it. Care for some, sirs? There's more than enough for all to cool their throats, of course.
You let these carts through and closest gate is ordered.
So look, Magello knows how to play the game.
My mail's choked with this sand.
Vaughn could learn a thing or two.
Don't give me a scare like that. You're lucky that ended where it did.
Right. Now's our chance to go through.
The ceremony will be starting soon. I'd best be hurrying.
Okay, well... Vaughn, wait! What is it? Vaughn!
I never understood why they have him run here, but I think it's because the CGI cutscene has him running, so they kind of had to do that. Remember how I said the story had to be fit to tailor around already made CGI cutscenes? Well, I think that's one of the clunky moments. Does that mean in an original story draft, Vaughn had a reason to be really interested in the console here? I mean, he clearly is interested in the console. Maybe they just wanted this to be a bit more active. God, this place looks so sun-baked.
We will have order. I give you your new consul, His Imperial Highness Lord Vane Solidor, Commandant of the Arcadian Empire's Western Arm... Your Excellency.
So he comes among the people.
People of Rabanastre, is it with hatred you look upon your consul? With hatred you look upon the Empire.
Spit on your empire! Strike back to Arcadia!
There was little point in asking. But know this, I harbor no idle hopes of frustrating that hatred. Nor shall I ask your fealty. That is the due of your fallen king, and rightly so. King Ramanas loved his people, strove to bring you peace. His was a rule worthy of your devotion. Even now, he remains among you, protecting you. His ardor for the peace and weal of Dalmasca falters not. I would ask only that you do your king honor. Together let us embrace the peace His Majesty would surely desire. 2 years now divide us from war's bitter end, yet still its shadow looms over all, stifling the infant peace, a pall only you may cast off. Achieve but this one thing, and your hatred of me and of the Empire will grieve me not. I will stand fast. I will endure your hatred, suffer your slings and arrows. I will defend Dalmasca. Here I will pay my debt. I swear it now. Though King Ramanas and Lady Ash be gone, they stand ever at the side of their people. In honoring peace, you do honor to their memory and to Dalmasca. What I ask plain. My hopes now rest with you.
Very convincing. Very, very diplomatic. This is a shrewd mind. And Vaughn's a bit sickened by the applause. I like it. It's quite a complex, like, real sort of situation they're setting up here, you know?
Is Rabanasta to your liking, my lord?
It is magnificent. Take this cathedral, for instance. Elegant, yet whimsical in its execution. A stunning example of Galtean architecture. I hope Lord Gramis might one day look upon it himself.
Gramis is the Emperor, his dad. Who's back in Arcades, obviously.
The patron of this evening's banquet, may it please your excellency.
I am Miguelo, your highness. It is truly a profound honor to make the acquaintance of our future emperor, highness. The people of Rabanasta join me in welcoming you.
That's enough of highness. Though indeed I am our emperor's son, I am no prince. Arcadia's emperor is freely chosen by her people. I am but an elected official and nothing more.
I meant no disrespect.
Now that I think on it, I would not have you address me as Lord Consul, for that matter.
No?
Henceforth, I am a citizen of Rabanasta. Why don't you call me Vane?
I could not. That would not be right.
You are overly fond of formalities. I've just the remedy for that. Tonight you will join me, and we shall drink until you call me by name.
So, he actually seems genuinely nice. And hey, Arcades is democratic with a senate. That's good.
How can he stand about him like that?
Fawn, you just do not get it, do you? He's not doing it because he wants to.
Lord Vane never did.
You know what would happen if he didn't.
I know, it's just...
So, what would you do different?
I don't know. Well... I'd do something.
Vaughn. Vaughn, you haven't heard a single word I've said, have you? This place has changed so much. It's like it's not even Rabanasta anymore. Like the Empire is swallowing it whole.
Hey, Penel, that fete tonight. You think they'll let us in?
Are you crazy? It's in the palace, and we don't have an invitation if you hadn't noticed.
So, how are we getting in?
As if I'd know. Why not ask Miguelo to get you in? Or go see old Dallin in Lowtown? Why the sudden interest, Vaughn?
I told you, I'm going to take back what's ours. give back to Dalmasca. Come on, what do you think? If I find something, and it fetches a good price, how about I buy you all dinner?
Oh, please. You know as well as I do the first thing you'd buy is an airship. All hail Vaughn, sky part of Dalmasca. It's got a nice ring to it. Stay out of trouble.
An airship. I don't know. Maybe. But not through Magello. Time to pay old Dallin a visit.
Man, this game gets my head really going in terms of, it thinks about a lot of things. Oh, who are these guys? I guess we'll learn more about them later. In particular, you can kind of see, you know, there's the struggle of these people. Do they keep putting up this fight? Are they kind of tearing Dalmasca down by continuing to be patriots? Or is the right thing to do to keep fighting? It's kind of what Barsh seemed to be going through before, and he made the crazy decision to attack his king. But you can kind of see that in Vaughn as well. Vaughn clearly is a patriot, and he clearly doesn't like the Empire. But, you know, is his ambition truly selfish with just going after becoming a sky pirate and getting an airship? Or is there something more going on there? I like it. It feels like we're almost following in someone else's footsteps here. And even Ondor, you know, was talking about, you know, giving people the advice to lay down arms and just to sort of accept their fate. That's a hard thing to let go of. There's not an easy answer to any of that. There's a little kid, like, crying here. Can we see these guys, by the way? Where were they just a second ago? The camera panned over to a little plaza or something. I guess they're gone. It looked like there were a bunch of Banga that looked very suspect. We'll see what's going on there. So another weird thing. Oh, no, this is them, isn't it? Is this them? Conspicuous Banga. Ah, you got your oh no, this is the other guys, right? He says, you got your primer, so you have. Well, what are you standing out here for? In with ya. Can't quite recall your face. Are you new? Might want to pay special heed to what the folks inside have to say. Are you going in or not? Well, we're going to say no for now, all right? And we'll move on. So another thing I want to talk about is Magello. It seems to me like maybe Magello was going to be a bigger part of this game. Like, if we want to go to that fate up at the palace, well, he's going, because they had that whole bit in the cutscene. But then Vaughn says, no, I don't want to go to Magello. And the truth is, Magello really doesn't have much else to do from now on. You know, that's not really a spoiler or anything. It's just the fact that he kind of steps aside. I do want to go talk to him, though, and see. And the other thing I want to do as well... Now, here's the thing. Players making a beeline around the game might just go to Lowtown now. And in fact, the stairway's right here. Remember, this is the one that was blocked off before? Well, now we can go down. But if you were paying attention and remember, the way that the hunts work is once you've completed a hunt, you want to go back to the guy that gave it to you, and you can cash it in. And so we want to return to Tamaj here. This is where it starts to get a little bit more open worldy. If you don't do this now, you're not going to be able to do it for a long time. And Tamaj will actually, like, almost scold you for it. So it's a good idea to just grab it here. He says, Vaughn! Defeated that rogue tomato, did you? I was worried you might not be ready just yet, but you did a fine job of it. Here, your bounty for completing the hunt. So we'll grab this. And we get a gill, a potion, teleport stone. You followed through on that hunt like a real professional. I'm going to let you in on a little something to help you along. Did you ever notice a Banga standing watch in front of a building in the north end? It might be worth your time to pay him a visit. Show him your primer I gave you. He'll let you inside. So that's the dude we were just talking to a second ago. And we're basically about to join a guild of sorts. There's also a new hunt here. This is the Thex Terror. It's very easy to miss this. Seek brave souls for slaying of fearsome beastie. My future rests in your swift response. My name is Gatley. Seek me in the Sandsea Tavern. So we're going to say yes, and it will tell us where the petitioner is. We're right at the start of the game, so it's just this dude standing here. Easy to miss this. On most of my playthroughs, I end up doing the Thex Terror way later in the game. But we'll see if we can get it early. I don't know. It might be a bit hard right now. A lot of the bounties are really hard the moment you get them. So instead, it's best to play a bit of story and come back later, but we'll see what we're capable of. So, sorry, what did he say? You saw my bill? My bill to hunt the Thextera? If you're looking for Cacti, you found him. I own a shop over in the Bazaar, but times have been tough, so I put an order in for some new goods, hoping to stir up some business. Put everything I own as collateral against that shipment. Trouble is, this beastie in the Westersands been attacking the caravans. As it happens, my goods are supposed to be arriving by the way of the Westersand too. If there's Thextera were to attack, what of my goods? Please, you must kill the Thextera. Accept the hunt, and I'll tell you where to get it. Now we're talking. He's in the Galtea Downs. The caravan drivers were set upon the cliff wall to your left as you leave the city via the west gate. I'm depending on you. If our shop goes under, my wife and I will be turned out on the streets. So we left the east gate before to the Estersand. The west gate takes us to the Westersand. And so those guys are still up there and whatnot. I won't bother speaking with them. I don't know. I'm not going to go do that hunt right away. I'm going to instead leave it for a second. But we can now start buying some stuff. So what shop is this here? This is the Technic Shop. I don't think there's any techniques for us to get right now. Techniques are stuff that tend to not cost MP, like steel. Steel doesn't cost any MP. We head up this way. And again, by the way, we speak to people again. They're all different now. Such a grand city. Why even the locals must need a map to find their way. Go ahead, look at your map. There's no shame in it. So, yeah, by the way, the architecture and stuff they've talked about a lot. Apparently, the development studio went to Turkey in the development of this game. And they were very inspired by the architecture there. And that's what a lot of Rabanastre is really based on, like Turkish stuff. If you've been wondering if it looks kind of familiar to you or whatever, that was really where they got a lot of the detail from. I think people talk about that a lot because people love to draw comparisons between this story and the real world all the time. So then the knowledge that this is like architecturally based in Turkey and stuff, you know, people use. I'm not sure that that really means anything. So anyway, here we are at the Clan Hall and we get a Moogle to talk to. One of the cooler characters in the game. So the Clan Hall, this is basically like the Hunters Guild. This is all the bounties we do are raising our rank with these guys, and there's a lot happening here. This guy's called Bansat. New member, are you? My name's Bansat. I'm a hunter here at Clan Centurio. Pleased to meet you. We are new. This guy, Monid. What are you looking at? This ain't no place for children. He's an exception. His parents were both hunters, and they were friends of mine to boot. That is until they sat on a hunt for this one most notorious mark. But I'll avenge him to be sure of it. I've been keeping an ear to the ground, listening for any sign of that mark ever since. That's what this place is all about. A deadly serious business, this. Not to be taken lightly, you hear? So a lot of these characters, you'll notice, have got special names, and like these guys kind of become like party members as the story goes along, but not really. Now, you remember in part 1 I talked about a cut feature that never made it in, where you would have more allies and swap them around and stuff. I think that was going to be at play in here a lot, but it ended up not being so much. We get a little Moogle down here. Are you new here, Kupo? My advice for you, always be sure to check for the latest bills. Never know when a new one might be posted, Kupo. No matter the notice board you check, the bills will be the same, so go to the nearest one and you're set, Kupo. The clan member over here. So, Tamaj recommended you to join the clan, did he? I bet he pretended he didn't even know about the clan hall. If he had told you where it was, he'd be in trouble. Finding the hall is one of the tests to join. Where you go from here is up to you. So, again, I'm not going to speak to everyone. We'll get lots of opportunity. There's so many cool people. This guy in particular gives you a lot of advice. His name is McEnroe. A new clan member. I am McEnroe. A pleasure, I'm sure. Unlike our other members, I cannot participate in hunts. My speciality lies in the collection of information. If you have a question about one of your marks, ask. I will tell you what I know. So, he says, how does this day find you? Hunting the Thextera? Leave by the west gate, follow the cliff face southward. Now go. Oh, your clan rank. When you've defeated 2 marks and accumulated 700 points, you will gain a rank. Now go. So, you could talk to him over and over and over. His race, he's called a Numo. Now, we won't hear about the Numo or what they're all about for a long time, but there is one of them. He's the first one we meet. And this bunny lady, she is a Vieira, who, again, I will be here all day. So, let's speak to the main guy. This is Mont Blanc. Kupopo, yours is a new face. Are you a hunter? Welcome to our clan hall. I'm Mont Blanc, founder of Clan Centurio. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Kupo. Our clan has a very strict entrance examination. We should begin yours at once. And you pass. Moogles are quick to make up their mind, Kupo. So we're now a member. Hooray! Here in the clan hall, you hear about especially dangerous marks you won't find posted on any board the moment they rear their ugly head. Well, I'll get on with filing the necessary clan membership certificates. I'll be finished in no time flat, Kupo. Kupo, I nearly forgot. Now that you remember, you can make purchases from our shop in the Bazaar. Be sure to stop by, Kupo. Oh, and one more thing. The magics and techniques you learn on the license board come in real handy on a hunt. If, say, you're thinking you'd like to make some adjustments to someone's board, well, I'm the Moogle you need to come see. Happy hunting. So, yes, he says, your membership papers are in order. I have a little something for you each time you gain a new rank. And so here he gave us 3 potions and 5 Libra motes. So a mote is an item that acts like a spell. Vaughn doesn't have the license to cast the spell Libra. And he doesn't have a bangle equipped, which gives him auto Libra, like Rex did. But he can throw these motes, which will do the same thing. Without the license. It's just that the motes run out. So, first we can ask for marks. He says, Kupopo, I'm sorry, but I don't have any hunts to tell you about at the moment. That's because we're too low rank. If you ask Mont Blanc for marks, you're going to get really dangerous bosses. Really dangerous. And we're at the start of the game, so we don't have any. There's this option here to change license boards. So if I didn't want Vaughn to be a thief, if I wanted to make him a knight or an outcast or whatever, then I could change that here. And I'm going to say no because we want him as a thief. Anyway, that little bit of dialogue there about changing the license boards, this is all new. This is like some of the newest information you'll ever see. It's new to the Switch and Xbox release. And look, they added all this stuff. You guys can pause the video if you really want to read all of it, but there you go. So, we are a part of the clan hall. And so here, by the way, when we go to the clan primer, you'll see on the bottom right, it gives us our rank. We are rank 1 right now, a Moppet. And you see we have 542 points already. When we rank up, we get access to new items and new stuff becomes available. We have 500 points because here's the thing. When we kill an enemy, we get experience points. We get license points. And you also get clan points, which aren't really displayed, but you do get them on every kill. So there's 2 ways to rank up at Clan Centurio. One is to just grind like mad. Or the other is to kill hunts and stuff. And killing hunts will rank you up really fast. That's the main way to do it. So anyway, here we are at the Bazaar. This is where the very opening cutscene of the game was played. And we have a new vendor that was not available before. Here he is. He would be a mysterious guy otherwise. He says, heard the boss gave you the okay, but it's not that simple, lad. We've got strict rules you've got to abide by here. The things I sell you depend on your rank. You want to crack at the good stuff? Best raise the rank. So I don't mean to talk your ear off. So here he starts the game with Decoy. This is new with the newer addition to the game. This is green magic. So white magic heals, black magic is generally about doing damage. Green magic is kind of like utility magic. And so Decoy is the first one, but this is really pricey, 2,000 gil. Even if we sell all of our new loot. So these wolf pelts, notable for its short, delicate hair. These wind stones, infused with the power of wind. It looks like an ordinary stone, but you put it to your hair and it feels like it's blowing. Even if we sell all of those, we're still not going to be able to afford it. So that'll be for later down the line. We also now have teleport stones, which appear as loot, but these let you teleport around the world, so I recommend that you don't sell them. Keep those. And so there you have it. Next time, we will be going for Old Dallin, and we will see about getting into this fate and whatever crazy scheme Vaughn has concocted. And we will trigger some events that really change Vaughn's whole life. There's also the Undercity to explore. I hope to see you guys for that one next time. Thanks for watching. Take it easy, everyone.